Hello everyone, welcome back to the video classes on geography of tourism. Today we are gonna learn about maps and its various categories. Before that, let's have a look into the importance of maps in tourism. Maps and tourism are inseparable. From early adventurers who used rudimentary or the very basic or simple maps and charts to explore new worlds, to the modern day tourist who uses a travel map to navigate within a chosen destination, maps play a significant role in how we discover, learn, and communicate information about the world around us. They perform a valuable function throughout the entire tourism process to decide how to travel to, from, and within the selected destination, where to stay, which attractions to visit, and even which neighborhood or regions to avoid, etc. They are a source of inspiration and a daydreaming about future travel destinations. Maps may be used by the tourists in the decision making stage to visualize and imagine the potential destinations, and they may be used in the trip planning phase to arrange transport, accommodation, etc. They are used during the travel phase to assist with navigation and orientation, and finally, they may be used after traveling to remember places visited or to help with post trip visualization and reminiscence. Maps and globes are very important tools for identifying places on the Earth's surface. Both are representations of the real Earth at a manageable size, and these two are the very important tools which are used by geographers. Then, what is a globe? A globe is a spherical model of the whole Earth. You know that our Earth is spherical in shape, and it is therefore a globe which represents the Earth truly. It represents correctly all aspects of the Earth, such as its spherical shape, shapes and sizes of the countries and continents, direction of one object from the other, and distances. A mere glance at a globe suggests that our Earth is a spherical body and not flat as suggested by a map. Then, what is a map? A map can be defined as a representation to scale of the features of the whole or a part of it on a plane surface. The word map is derived from the Latin word mappa mundi, where mappa stands for cloth and mundi stands for the world. In ancient times, the maps were drawn on the napkin of cloth. So, the term mappa mundi. And here is the basic difference between a map and a globe. A map is a two-dimensional representation of a certain region of the world, whereas a globe is a three-dimensional representation of the whole world. Now let's study about the pros and cons of maps and globes. First one is the advantages of maps. Maps can be folded up and transported easily. They can focus on a specific area. The major disadvantage of map is it is not as accurate as globes. Flat maps have distortions. The major advantage of globe is it represents features of the earth more accurately than maps. And the disadvantages or the cons of globes are it is not practical for travelers to carry around. Often, they have less detailed information than the maps. Now, let's have a look into the basic characteristics of a map. All maps are concerned with two primary elements, locations in two-dimensional space and the attributes which are the qualities or magnitudes of a particular location. Then all maps are reductions of reality. That is, the maps are drawn to particular scale. And the third basic characteristic is all maps are transformations of space. All maps are abstractions of reality. Because of the infinite nature of our universe, it is impossible to capture all the complexity found in the real world. So they are the abstractions of reality. Then finally, all maps use signs and symbols to represent the cultural as well as the physical features. Now we are going to study about the different categories of maps. Maps are categorized into a wide variety of ways. Here we are going to study about the classification based on scale and also the classification of maps based on its function. Based on scale, the maps are divided into two major categories, large scale maps and small scale maps. And based on function, they are broadly classified into three categories, general reference maps, thematic maps, and charts. Now let's have a look into one by one in detail. First one is the classification of map on the basis of scale. They can be broadly divided into two categories on the basis of scale, small scale maps and large scale maps. Small scale maps are the maps which show large areas with lesser details. They are the maps which show only the very important information. Here the scale is below 1:1 million. For example, Atlas. Then large scale maps. Large scale maps, they are the maps which shows the smaller areas with greater details. They represent the detailed information of small areas. Here the scale is more than 1:63,360. Topographical map, cadastral map, plans, etc. come under this category of map, large scale maps. This is a world map and it is a best example for a small scale map. Here the whole world is represented on a small piece of paper and so lesser amount of information can be included in it, and those include names of countries, oceans, etc. And here it is a topographical map and it is a best example for large scale map which shows detailed information about a land area, about the physical and cultural features of that particular area. Okay, now the classification of map on the basis of function. As we already told, the maps can be divided into three categories, general purpose map, thematic map and charts on the basis of its function. First one is general purpose map. It is otherwise known as reference map. These maps provide many types of information on one map. They show both natural and human-made features such as coastline, lakes, rivers, boundaries, settlements, roads, rail lines, and others. The emphasis in general purpose maps is on location, not on theme. These two maps are topographical maps of two different areas, and topographical map is a very best example for general purpose map, which includes or which shows both the cultural features and physical features of a particular area. And now about thematic map, it is referred to as special purpose maps. It illustrates the geographical distribution of a particular theme or phenomenon. It concentrates on theme. There are two types of thematic maps, simple and complex. Simple thematic maps concentrate on the representation of a single feature, whereas the complex thematic maps represent combinations, correlation, association, variation or interconnection between several aspects of same phenomena or between two or more phenomena. And so here thematic maps, they specialize in portraying a specific information without caring for the other. Thematic maps are of various categories. Relief map, geological map, weather map, political map, historical map, distribution map, etc. come under the category of thematic maps. First one is relief map. Maps which represents the surface forms, slopes and drainage are referred to as relief maps. These maps carry information related to the physical features of a particular area such as its slope, drainage or the height or the other relief features. Then geological map. These maps depict landforms, their mode of occurrence and its distribution over the Earth's surface. Here, the rock units or the geological strata are shown by color or symbols. Then comes weather map. These maps are produced by the government agencies and published daily, showing the weather conditions of the day at a particular time. Atmospheric pressure, wind velocity, wind direction, cloudiness, rainfall, snowfall, etc. are shown on it by means of various signs and symbols. And the next one is the political map. The maps which show political boundaries are known as political map. International and state boundaries, capital towns, other important towns, etc. are given on these maps. Next one is a historical map. It is a map on which historical events are portrayed. That means the areas or the places which are ruled by some dynasties in a particular period, etc. Distribution maps. Distribution maps are of various categories. The maps which use different shade of color to represent a particular theme is known as chromatic map, and the maps which use different letters to represent a particular theme is known as schematic map. The maps which use different shades are known as chromatic map, and the maps which use different letters to represent the particular theme is known as schematic map. And the next one is isopleth map, which uses iso lines such as isotherm, isobar, isoheight, etc. to represent that particular theme. Iso lines are imaginary lines drawn on a map connecting places having equal values such as temperature, pressure, rainfall, etc. Next one is dot map. Dot map uses dots to represent the distribution of a particular phenomena such as population, etc. Next one is choropleth map. Here different shades or shading patterns are used to show the distribution of various attributes or the qualities of a particular area. The last one is chart. A nautical chart is one of the most fundamental tools available to the mariner. These maps are designed to serve the needs of navigators. It is a map that depicts the configuration of the shoreline and seafloor. It provides water depths, location of dangers to navigation, locations and characteristics of aids to navigation, anchorages, and other features. That's all for now. Thank you and have a great day.